What is going on, my broskiis? My name is Toadski, back again, here to bring you guys yet another One Piece Treasure Cruise video. Today we're looking at some more Pirate Rumble action, and today we're going to be covering a team that I haven't really covered yet, with the new additions that I've been able to pull over the last few months or so, and that is going to be the strength-focused team. So the thing that made the strength team just a little bit better was the introduction of the Kobe during the 9.5 anniversary celebration, I believe it was, last year. And I did pull him initially. I can't remember if I pulled him on the anniversary, the 10th annie, or I pulled him on global anniversary. Either way, I pulled Kobe, and I've actually finally got around to making a video in regards to the strength team. This is the team that I have built right now. I don't know if this is the most optimal way to go about it. I'm not really a big fan of the Sanji character on the front line, but it's due to the fact that Kobe kind of wants you to use one of the other Straw Hats on the crew in order to get a bonus. As you can see with his Rumble ability, where it says that if Zoro, Sanji, Helmeppo, Usopp, Nami, Robin are on the crew, fighter characters get level 3 CT increase. That's pretty powerful, so potentially you could switch out Sanji for Kuma if you want. The thing is though, is that Sanji's Rumble ability is actually not terrible when you look at it. It does give strength allies 5 attack, 5 speed. In the first 30 seconds, you do get an additional level 3 special CT for your strength allies. So with Kobe and Sanji together, you actually, got a pretty good core here of a good strength fighter focused team. Especially when you got Jack as well, is a fighter character, very, very good defensively, and the health cuts are strong. And then, of course, the big damage dealer for the crew is going to be this anniversary, Luffy. This character is phenomenal in Pirate Rumble, one of the best Rumble characters in the entire game. His Rumble special is just so good. First of all, just giving further attack buff when he launches the special, but then targets 2 enemies for 1.5 damage, ignoring defense 3 separate times, and then if he's below 60% health, he also does an additional 3.5 times attack in a large range. So he hits really hard. And damage through defense is incredibly strong, especially when you partner that with really good health cutters such as Legend Jack, and also the Blackbeard as well. Blackbeard obviously came out during the global anniversary earlier this year. This character's got a great Rumble ability, inflicting level 5 attack and defense down to strength, dex, and quick enemies. Also got a great defensive Rumble ability, providing your strength allies with 6 defense and 6 health. And then his special ability, also doing more defense down, more attack down, huge health cut, and also 80% chance of action binding them, which is strong because if you're able to action bind all those characters, it puts your characters further up the order so that you can go ahead and start inflicting more damage to the opponent. But of course, Kobe's going to be strong. And then on the bench, we've got Kuma, probably one of the best Rumble rare recruits you can be getting because 20 cost unit for what he does is exceptional. Law and King is what I am going with. So that's the breakdown of the team. Let's go ahead and see how the team performs up against certain opponents here in Pirate Rumble. So jumping into our first game here, we're going to be coming up against Dex, obviously, throughout the majority of this video here. This one here is interesting, as it does have Roger, and it does have, like, the Tandem Luffy, which is a pretty stock standard unit, and Ace. I do think that Ace is a little bit of an underrated unit on Dex teams right now, and I do think that Usopp is not a terrible option as well. I have seen some people opt to build, like, full Dex shooter teams with Ace, Usopp, the new Frankie, and stuff like that. I would love to trial that out, but of course, I don't own Frankie as of yet, so hopefully sometime in the near future we'll be able to apply something like that. But one of the really cool things about this squad is that if you get all of your specials lined up correctly, it's just absurdly strong. So opponent here coming in with the Luffy special to start things off, who really cares about that, that's fine. Sanji unfortunately doesn't do that much damage, but he does give us a little bit of an attack increase, which is fine. Seeing Usopp doing what he likes to do, damage over time, special reverse stuff, but luckily for us, the special reverse isn't really that significant, unless if like the character is literally just about to launch their attack, and then it would cause a little bit of a problem. But the lucky thing for us here is that we've got Jack and Blackbeard coming up. It's going to health cut them to oblivion, and then whenever Luffy comes in, he's just going to completely knock all of them out, because that's exactly what Luffy does after all of these health cuts. And also with Blackbeard providing defense down as well, action binding them so that our characters can get bumped up the order a little bit, absolutely decimated. Moving on now to our second matchup. Once again, going to see Ace and Luffy going to be, common mainstays in a lot of these Dex teams. But we also see interesting units like Big Mom. I think Big Mom is still very, very good in Dex teams. Just does so much freaking damage. You also see Otama being a very interesting unit as well, providing some healing mechanics, and S-Snake, I don't think S-Snake is really that great in all honesty. She just isn't really that great in Rumble, unlike S-Hawk being like the most busted Rumble unit in the game, and then you've got like S-Shark and S-Snake, which are really, you know, they're just okay. It is what it is, you know. Here's the Otama coming in with actually a decent amount of HP recovery, and also confusing characters, which can be a little bit problematic, as, you know, see Kobe, he's about to come up here, and he does unfortunately get fully confused out, which would have been massive for providing our crew with some haste to potentially launch our special. So, you know, Otama actually coming in clutch for the opponent, and you do see Ace actually doing quite a bit of damage to us. With this team, even though we have relatively good offensive threats with really good health cuts and Luffy doing damage through defense, the team doesn't have the best defensive capabilities, and I suppose Strength has really never had really good defensive capabilities, to be honest, but, you know, seeing this and going back to Strength after a long time of not going back to it, yeah, it's definitely noticeable how squishy this team can actually be overall. And you do see Blackbeard coming in clutch there with the really good action binding and the health cut, and Jack with even more health cut. So as long as we find a way to do some damage to the opponent, there's really not much that they can do at this point. Alright, coming up against a fully built squad here. I don't think this is the most ideal team ever. It looks like they're trying to build like a Dex fighter focused team here. As you do see Luffy, S, Shark, Sober Mask, Bullet, Cat, Dog, all of these units being fighter units. And even though that is a valid option that you could go down that route, I still don't think Dex Fighter is the way to go. I think Dex Shooter is pretty solid. Dex Powerhouse seems very, very good. You know, you've got characters like Pell, Big Mom, even the 6+ Rob Lucci that just came out recently. That's a really good option for Dex Powerhouse. The new Roger is also Powerhouse. So I think Dex Powerhouse is pretty good. I mean, you got like Dalton as well. Pirate Rumble Recruit Dalton, he's really good. So yeah, I feel like that's probably the route that you would go down for Dex. Or you can just build just mono Dex. Just build whatever you want as long as the units boost Dex focus units with Tandem Luffy, Ace. You even got Doflamingo, even though he's focusing more on Driven. Doflamingo is like one of the best wave clearing units you can have come off the bench. So, you know, there's a couple of decent options. Dex is a really good color right now, honestly. They've got some great options offensively and defensively as well. I'm also a big fan of Rumble Rare Recruit Bullet. I've used him a couple of times in the past. He's kind of just like, the way I see him, he's kind of like a buffed version of Sober Mask. He just does more damage than Sober Mask, the way that I feel. So he's just really, really good. I do know that Sober Mask recently got level limit break, which does add a couple of different mechanics to the unit, which is kind of nice. But I'm not really a big fan of Cat Viper and Dogstorm on Dex teams anymore. When they first came out, they were amazing because of how good Quick actually was. But as it stands right now, there's really not much use of bringing Cat and Dog on a team, especially because they take up a complete slot for a Sugofest exclusive on your team. There's just better options that are out there that you could use over this character or these characters for Cat, Viper, and Dogstorm. And then the final clip here is going to be against the challenge difficulty with S-Shark. This is a pretty challenging one. The first time that I actually went up against this is the second recording of this specific matchup. I got extremely unlucky where like Big Mom used her special with half stats and did a bunch of damage, and then Luffy went fully charged Big Mom, and then Big Mom went again. I got absolutely clapped. However, this time around, things went a little bit differently. So even if you have a really good matchup against the opponent, things can just fall out of favor. You know, Rumble has some really crazy RNG at times. You can have the best team ever and still lose. to a garbage team due to the order of specials. You can whiff with certain specials. You guys know the whole deal, right? But we got really lucky this time around, being able to health cut the enemy to crazy oblivions. And then, of course, we have the 9.5 anniversary Snake Man Luffy, Gear 5-ish Luffy, I guess, going ahead and doing that huge damage through defense. And at that point, when you just wipe the entire board on the front line, and then they have just their bench come on, like, it's just GG. There's really not much that my opponent can do at this point. So you see Kobe coming in with some special CT, hasting some of the characters, Blackbeard doing what he likes to do, action binding the entire front row, and then that brings all of our strength characters up the order. Jack goes next, which is perfect with the double health cut. They're all at really low HP. Luffy comes in, wham, bam, thank you ma'am, and there we go. Then the bench is going to come on and we're pretty much good to go. So yeah, that's pretty much it, guys. I think strength is a really solid team. It's not great defensively, but if you are able to get the characters to launch the specials in the right order, and if you have really good investments on that Luffy character, then yeah, this team is going to absolutely destroy a lot of teams out there. Even with like neutral, even if you're not hitting for like super effective damage, or like the opponent doesn't have any resistances against you or whatever, even neutrally, like, yeah, this team can absolutely clap, just due to the fact that damage through defense is absurdly strong. But that's going to wrap it up from me. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, make sure to go ahead and leave a like. And if you want to stay up to date with all the content I post, including more One Piece Treasure Cruise content, make sure to hit the subscribe button down below. And that, guys, I'll see you guys within the next video.